I'm Todd McAllister with ACCA Texas. I want to take a moment and welcome you to the Help for Homeowners video. Today we're going to talk about the HVAC system. As you know, it's already been over 100 degrees in many parts of the state. It's only going to get hotter as the summer goes along. You as a homeowner need to do everything that you can to help reduce your electric costs. One of the biggest things you can do is have regular maintenance on your HVAC system. The Department of Energy says that a homeowner usually uses up to 50% of their electric cost on their HVAC system. So you need to make sure you have regular maintenance on that system, just like you have regular maintenance on your vehicle. We're going to go over a couple of things that a contractor would do whenever he comes out to service your HVAC system, all right? So your HVAC system is made up of a couple of different components. You're going to have a condenser outside. You may have a heat pump also. You're going to have a furnace and air handler on the inside. You're going to have your thermostat inside, and then of course you're going to have your filter, which you're going to want to change regularly, and we're going to talk about that a little bit later. I want to stress before I go any further that you use a licensed contractor. Licensed contractors here in Texas are going to have the proper insurance, they're going to have the proper credentialing, they're going to have all the training necessary to help you out as a homeowner whenever they do the maintenance on the system. So let's say that the contractor comes over, he's ready to do your maintenance on your system. First thing he's going to want to make sure is that there's not a lot of debris around the unit. You don't want to have toys stacked up, grass clipping, weeds. Those things you want to keep clear of your unit. You also want to be careful though whenever you're doing the weeding around the unit that you don't get into the refrigerant lines or happen to clip up against the unit. So the contractor, whenever he comes over, he's going to do a couple of different things on your regularly scheduled maintenance. We recommend that you get maintenance twice a year. Once in the spring and once in the fall. That way you can have a cooling checkup and then you can have a heating checkup. So when the contractor comes over, he's going to check the components inside that unit, check for wear and tear, just like a mechanic would check for wear and tear on your car. You've got a condenser fan motor out here. Some of those motors will require oil, so he would oil it if need be. You're also going to have a charge that's going to be the refrigerant within the unit. So he's going to put some gauges on your system and he's going to check one of two things. He's either going to check a superheat or he's going to check a subcooling. And that's just going to give him an overall view of how well your unit is operating. That would be whether or not you need refrigerant or don't need refrigerant. And finally, I want to mention that a lot of times you're going to have a disconnect, or you may have a breaker box where you can cut the unit off in case there's an emergency. Let's say that you're mowing, you're weed eating, you get into the unit, refrigerant's going everywhere and you've got to shut it off right then. Just use that disconnect to cut off the power to the unit. You're not going to hurt the unit in any way and you're going to keep you and your family safe. Now we're going to go inside and look at some of the other components of that HVAC system. Okay, we've moved inside the home now, and another component of your HVAC system is the thermostat. The State Energy Conservation Office here in Texas, also known as SECO, as well as Energy Star and the Department of Energy, have said just moving your thermostat up a couple of degrees in the summertime or down a couple of degrees in the wintertime can result in savings of up to 10% on your energy bills. As we talked about earlier, your HVAC system needs regular maintenance just like your vehicle needs regular maintenance. One of the most effective and easy things you can do for that maintenance is to change your filter. Your filter is going to stop the particles from getting on that evaporator coil, which then can affect the efficiency of your HVAC system. So on a monthly basis, you want to go up and you want to get that filter changed. It's a simple fix. It's something that you can do on your own that you don't have to call the contractor out for. And finally, we're in the attic. And up in the attic, you may find your furnace. You may also find an air handler if you've got a heat pump. One of the most important things I can tell you about the attic installation is you've got to keep the area clear around that furnace or that air handler. You don't want to have old toys stacked around it. You definitely don't want to have anything stacked on the ductwork. When the technician comes up into the attic, they're going to look for a couple of things, and there are a few things that they're going to do to make sure the maintenance is correct on your system. You're going to have a fan in there. They're going to check that fan. They're going to oil the fan if it needs oiling. They're going to check to see if the blower wheel is dirty. They're also going to check your heat exchanger. On that heat exchanger, they're going to look for cracks in the heat exchanger, because if you have cracks in the heat exchanger, there's always the potential for carbon monoxide poisoning. Another thing they're going to do is they're going to check the flue. And on that flue, they're going to make sure that the gases are properly venting to the outside. Again, you don't want the carbon monoxide inside your home. One of the last things they're going to do is they're going to be checking that evaporator coil. They're going to make sure that that evaporator coil is clean, that there's not a lot of debris on it, that the filter is doing its job and keeping everything out of the system. Finally, the last thing I want to mention is that you're going to have a lot of ductwork up in your system. One of the things that they can do to help on your energy efficiency and to help on your electric and gas bill is that they can seal those ducts. You're going to want to make sure that your ducts are sealed, that they've got the mastic on there. That's going to keep all the airflow in that system the way that it's supposed to be. So as you can see, you basically have four major components to your HVAC system. You've got a condenser or a heat pump outside, you've got a thermostat, you've got some filters, and then you have the indoor unit, which could be in an attic or it could also be housed in a closet. So most importantly, you want to change your filter. If possible, you want to raise that temperature on your thermostat a couple of degrees during the summertime and lower it a couple of degrees during the wintertime. That's going to save you energy and it's going to save you money on your bills. Lastly, what we want to say is make sure you use a qualified and licensed contractor. We can't stress how important it is to use somebody that's licensed. You don't want to use an unlicensed contractor. They may not have the proper insurance. They may not have the proper training. In fact, they probably don't have the proper training. Use a licensed contractor. Use an ACCA contractor. We always value ACCA members. Hey, thanks for watching ACCA Texas's Help for Homeowners. We hope that you found this information valuable and useful whenever it comes to your HVAC system. Again, use a licensed contractor, change those filters monthly, and if you have any questions, you can reach us at ACCA Texas, 1-800-998-4822, or visit us on the web at www.tacca.org.